Hello, my listeners, my wonderful, darling, amazing listeners. It's me, Fax5'em, here with what's probably going to be another shorter episode. I've been pretty busy lately, got a lot of stuff going on IRL, but I still do my best to get one of these things out every Thursday, even if it kills me. Well, I guess if it does kill me, I'll just only end up releasing any things that I have previously recorded up until then, but you know what I mean. Hopefully my big projects, they're going to take a while, but when they get done, I think they're going to be pretty awesome. Anyway, this is for my buddy Killing Time. Yeah, that's her name, Killing Time. And, that's her internet name. I don't think she would want me to use her real name, but you know what I mean. Well, let's get into this bad boy. Sam Bankman-Fried's legal defense is being funded with Alameda money he gifted his father, published in Forbes Digital Assets. Written by Sarah Emerson and Stephen Ehrlich, originally published March 29, 2023. While still CEO of now collapsed FTX, Bankman-Fried transferred millions of dollars to his father. Some of these funds have since been used to pay for his mounting legal fees, according to two sources close to the company. Sam Bankman-Fried, founder of fallen cryptocurrency exchange FTX, who claimed to have just $100,000 in his bank account last November, is preparing for trial in October backed by a roster of powerful attorneys, but it has remained unclear until now how the former billionaire would afford his pricey defense. Forbes has learned that Bankman-Fried has been paying legal fees from a multi-million-dollar gift he gave his father with money borrowed from FTX's sister company. In 2021, while CEO of FTX, Bankman-Fried made a large monetary gift to his father, Stanford law professor Joseph Bankman. Two sources with operational knowledge of both companies told Forbes. It was funded by a loan from the exchange's trading firm, Alameda Research, they said. Bankman-Fried was pleaded not guilty to 12 criminal charges, including wire fraud, money laundering, and securities fraud, and faces an additional bribery charge, is accused of misappropriating FTX customer funds through Alameda dating back to the exchange's founding in 2019. A source close to Bankman-Fried told Forbes that his defense costs are likely in the single-digit millions range. "I didn't steal funds and I certainly did not stash billions away," he wrote on Substack earlier this year. Two additional sources familiar with the family told Forbes that Bankman once begged his son to put away savings, but Bankman-Fried reportedly declined. It has been alleged that some $10 billion in customer deposits were secretly diverted to Alameda by the former CEO. These funds were intended to be used for trading or custodied on FTX between 2019 and 2022, according to a complaint against Nishad Singh, the company's former engineering lead, who pleaded guilty to fraud and conspiracy charges last month. FTX debtors claim that Bankman-Fried improperly received $2.2 billion in company loans and alleged this month that $8.9 billion in customer deposits are still missing. Bankman-Fried declined to comment. The gift and loan are reported here for the first time and occurred in 2021 when Bankman-Fried arranged to give money to his father, according to the two sources with knowledge of company operations. After receiving at least $10 million from Alameda, Bankman-Fried sent the funds to Bankman using his lifetime estate and gift tax exemption, essentially a tax-free gift. He contributed to the maximum amount someone is allowed to give in their lifetime, which would have been $11.7 million that year, these sources told Forbes. Lawyers for FTX did not respond to a request for comment. Bankman-Fried is currently represented by Mark Cohen and Christian Everdell of Cohen and Gresser, both former federal prosecutors who were part of a defense team that advised Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted in 2021 of sex trafficking a minor. He is also being advised pro bono by criminal defense attorney David W. Mills, a close family friend and colleague of Bankman's at Stanford, a source familiar with the matter told Forbes. Cohen and Everdell did not respond to a request for comment. Mills declined to comment. Bankman, a clinical psychologist and prominent attorney who specializes in the field of tax law, but not specifically wealth preservation, did not respond to a list of questions from Forbes. The gift required Bankman-Fried to file a return with the IRS, which is not a public document. Last month, Bankman and his wife, Barbara Fried, a retired Stanford law professor, received subpoenas from FTX attorneys seeking personal finance statements and records of any assets transferred to them by FTX companies or employees. Amid growing scrutiny, Bankman-Fried's parents have rallied in support of their 31-year-old son. "I'll be spending substantially all of my resources on Sam's defense," Bankman reportedly told a nonprofit whose donation from FTX was interrupted by the bankruptcy. Forbes was unable to confirm how much Bankman-Fried presently owes in legal fees, but his parents have reportedly leveraged their own assets to financially support their son. In December, their $1.8 million Palo Alto home was used to secure a $250 million bail package after Bankman-Fried was released on a personal recognizance bond. His lawyers have also argued that federal prosecutors gave Bankman-Fried access to 56 million Robinhood shares he bought in 2022 with money lent by Alameda. The shares, with $485 million at today's prices, were seized in January based on allegations that they were purchased with allegedly stolen customer funds. His attorneys have also petitioned the Delaware Bankruptcy Court for financial assistance. In a motion filed this month, they asked that he be allowed to use millions of dollars in coverage provided by FTX's insurance policies to help pay for some of his legal costs. FTX is now led by a new CEO, John J. Ray III, a veteran corporate restructuring expert who reportedly charged the company $690,000 in fees for 2 months of work. Hundreds of lawyers and advisors working on the bankruptcy proceedings have reportedly billed FTX a combined $38 million in expenses. Since his arrest in the Bahamas last December, Bankman-Fried's estimated $26.5 billion net worth has all but evaporated, as much of his wealth was tied up in FTX and his FTT tokens. Last month, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York reportedly demanded that lawmakers who received donations from Bankman-Fried return them to the U.S. Marshals Service. According to a new indictment unsealed by federal prosecutors on Tuesday, he is expected to face new charges at a pretrial conference scheduled for Thursday, including allegations that he conspired to bribe Chinese government officials in 2021 with $40 million in cryptocurrency. It is unclear how Bankman-Fried intends to respond. You know, one thing I really didn't think about until I read this article was just how rapid Sam Bankman-Fried's rise and fall was. I mean, FTX started 2019 and it collapsed in 2022? I mean, wow. I would have expected something like this to have taken... Honestly, I don't know how long I would have expected it to take, but longer than this. Well, thank you for listening and making it this far. Feel free to like, subscribe, share it around to people. Give me that dopamine rush that only strangers on the internet can give me. You can donate money too if you want. There's a link in the description. Or don't. I'm not your boss. I'm just Fax5'em. And right now, I'm signing off.